Breathing Lessons, written by Ann Tyler, narrated by Suzanne Toren.
Part 1. Chapter 1. Maggie and Ira Moran had to go to a funeral in Deer Lick, Pennsylvania. Maggie's girlhood friend had lost her husband. Deer Lick lay on a narrow country road some 90 miles north of Baltimore, and the funeral was scheduled for 10:30 Saturday morning. So Ira figured they should start around 8. This made him grumpy. He was not an early morning kind of man. Also, Saturday was his busiest day at work, and he had no one to cover for him. Also, their car was in the body shop. It had needed extensive repairs, and Saturday morning at opening time, 8 o'clock exactly, was the soonest they could get it back. Ira said maybe they'd just better not go, but Maggie said they had to. She and Serena had been friends forever, or nearly forever. 42 years, beginning with Miss Kimmel's first grade. They planned to wake up at 7, but Maggie must have set the alarm wrong, and so they overslept. They had to dress in a hurry and rush through breakfast, making do with faucet coffee and cold cereal. Then Ira headed off for the store on foot to leave a note for his customers, and Maggie walked to the body shop. She was wearing her best dress, blue and white sprigged with cape sleeves, and crisp black pumps, on account of the funeral. The pumps were only medium-heeled, but slowed her down some anyway. She was more used to crepe soles. Another problem was that the crotch of her pantyhose had somehow slipped to about the middle of her thighs, so she had to take shortened, unnaturally level steps, like a chunky little wind-up toy wheeling along the sidewalk. Luckily, the body shop was only a few blocks away. In this part of town, things were intermingled. Small frame houses like theirs, sitting among portrait photographers' studios, one-woman beauty parlors, driving schools, and podiatry clinics. And the weather was perfect, a warm, sunny day in September, with just enough breeze to cool her face. She patted down her bangs, where they tended to frizz out like a forelock. She hugged her dress-up purse under her arm. She turned left at the corner, and there was Harbor Body and Fender, with the peeling green garage doors already hoisted up, and the cavernous interior smelling of some sharp-scented paint that made her think of nail polish. She had her check all ready, and the manager said the keys were in the car, so in no time she was free to go. The car was parked toward the rear of the shop, an elderly gray-blue Dodge. It looked better than it had in years. They had straightened the rear bumper, replaced the mangled trunk lid, ironed out a half-dozen crimps here and there, and covered over the dapples of rust on the doors. Ira was right. No need to buy a new car after all. She slid behind the wheel. When she turned the ignition key, the radio came on. Mel Spruce's AM Baltimore, a call-in talk show. She let it run, for the moment. She adjusted the seat, which had been moved back for someone taller, and she tilted the rearview mirror downward. Her own face flashed toward her, round and slightly shiny. Her blue eyes quirked at the inner corners as if she were worried about something, when in fact she was only straining to see in the gloom. She shifted gears and sailed smoothly toward the front of the shop, where the manager stood frowning at a clipboard just outside his office door. Today's question on AM Baltimore was,
Sample complete. Ready to continue?